Aloha! Let's talk about music. Not like notes and shit like that, but like music we love that I love. Because I feel that's one area I can convey my enthusiasm for things. So we're going to talk about one of my favorite bands of all time, The Clash, but specifically the album Sandinista. Dun 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 dun. Aye! So, this was back in the day, a triple vinyl album, unprecedented, and I did own it. Unfortunately, I sold it, I believe, when CDs came on the scene. I was in high school when that hit, like 86, and just thought it'd be a good idea to sell all my albums. But I kept the Armageddon Times that came in it. Inadvertently, but I still have that. But just one of my all-time favorite albums. I still listen to it, and regularly. It's good. I do. I get to listen to a lot of music for what I do for a living at the present time, and whoever happens to be with me has to deal with what I want to play, because it's serious business to me. So there's no requests. But just a outstanding album. It was comes out, it opens with Magnificent Seven, you know. Ring, ring, 7 a.m., move yourself to go again. Cold water in your face brings you back to this awful place. So, you know, like 1980, 81, there's no internet. I'm just a little kid, like 11, 12 years old, growing up 20 miles outside of Boston. Where am I going to get exposed to hip-hop? I didn't know it was hip-hop, and I didn't become a big lifelong fan of that, but I enjoyed Joe Strummer's interpretations of that and his raps, and it was all like lyrics that you could relate to, you know? I really, like, ring, ring, 7 a.m. I was only 12, but I knew working was going to suck. So I have eliminated the alarm from my life. I will let you know that. But just awesome. And then the second tune, Hitsville, UK, which is one of truly my favorite songs. Just one of the most infectious grooves. This huge organ swell. And there's like a strange chorus. I don't even know who's singing it. And but it's just dun, dun, dun. And it is Mutants, Greeks, and Muscle Men. Just a great, strange tune. And it just goes on. And it was just such a fun album. You know, Ivan meets G.I. Joe. That was a big deal back then. The Cold War was real. And just somebody put it into words in such a cool way, you know? And it just goes on, you know, Police on My Back, Washington Bullets, The Call Up, just these wonderful tunes. And of course, Charlie Don't Surf, you know, inspired by my favorite movie, Apocalypse Now. And it was just a cool tune. And then you got, but the key to Sandinista is just everything on there is great. There's one song on there that I would throw away, and that was Mensforth Hill, which is like they took something about England and played it backwards and added some more sound effects, and it's really just not a pleasurable listen. But that's out of like 36 songs or something. There's only one. Now there's a few tunes that you could argue, was it necessary? But the bottom line is they were there, and the wonderful thing about the CDs is that you kind of listen to the whole thing as opposed to having to flip the albums over and maybe never getting to side 6 all that much. Because side 6 is awesome. You know, you got the Shepherd's Delight, which is another dub with literally lambs sounds on it. And but what makes it so great, you know, you got Lightning Strikes, which is another sort of proto-rap tune. And Somebody Got Murdered, which is one of my favorite tunes. I'll be playing that at some point later. And but then you got tunes like Version City, Let's Go Crazy, and just these, you know, deep album tracks. Like I'll Go Crazy is just a wonderful tune. Corner Soul, these are just fantastic tunes, you know. And I mean, they slipped. There's a Mose Allison tune on there. And if you don't know who Mose Allison is, you know, You older folks may recall the Who's Live at Leeds, Young Man Blues. That Mose Allison wrote that. It's actually, I believe it's called Country Sweet, is what you'll find it under in his albums, Mose Allison's. But he's a great, great little find. You know, you can get, there's a nice 2 CD compilation, Alice in Wonderland. You know, he's got lyrics like "Your mind is on vacation and your mouth is working overtime" and stuff like that. And "If you live." Van Morrison also did a great cover album with Georgie Femme and Ben Cedrin, and Mose Allison himself appears on that. That's a enjoyable listen that gets a regular play in my world. And you just, you know, so they slip "Look Here" in there. Look here, what you think you're gonna be doing next year. But it was all the various sounds. I mean, back in that, you know, early 80s, where were you going to be exposed to that unless you were hip enough to be listening to the Clash and stuff, you know? For you know, a rock and roll family, you know? And thankfully I was the youngest in my family, and I had siblings that were more or less kind of hip. So, you know, I would sneak into my brother's room when he wasn't there and just look at his albums and stuff, you know? And that's where, yeah, Exile Main Street, you know, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out, David Crosby's If I Could Only Remember My Name, Europe 72, which was seminal. Like, that brought you into the Dead a little better way than Skeletons from the Closet does, in my opinion. And, but he also had the first Clash album, which is one of my all-time favorites. I can put that one on and just sing along from start to end and bounce around my room and just really get into that one. You know, Police and Thieves. The American version we had, which had White Man and Hammersmith Palais on there, which was not on the British version. But, you know, I Fought the Law, Hate and War, What's My Name, Complete and Remote Control were on there. Garageland. Just a wonderful album. And Career Opportunities, which is a great tune. And I got that at 11 or 12, whatever I was. I was born in 69. I probably was listening to this 80, 81. And so these were kind of a contemporary for me. You know, I was right there for the beginning of U2 and the Police as well. I was hip to, maybe not their first album, because I was only 8. But just loved all that stuff. But the Clash most of all, you know, the only band that mattered. And it was just great stuff. I remember we used to have the April vacations up there in Massachusetts, and we'd always take a trip down to Florida, go to Disney World, and we had some relatives down there, and we'd drive, and the Walkman 2 was big cutting-edge technology, you know, with the headphones, and so I needed to get one. My brother had one, and I got one, you know, for mowing the lawn, and for just being able to have your own music in any setting, more or less. And he had this, my brother again, had this cassette of Sandinista. And I remember driving down 95 South, and you'd be like in, you know, south of Richmond in that no man's land in the Carolinas, just the most mind-numbing ride. And just listening to that and getting exposed to Hitsville, UK, and Something About England, and Lose That Skin with Team and Dog, who, when I saw Joe Strummer, when he was touring with the Mescaleros, Team and Dog was on the first tour. And I'll never forget, I was seeing him in Worcester, Mass, and people were jumping up on stage, you know, putting their arm around Joe, and he's digging it, and I'm like flipping him. I'm like, you're distracting from the music. I was old. But it was still great. It was all part and parcel of it. It was just good times. Fantastic stuff. So, but anyway, on the beauty of that Sandinista is like, on the fade out of one tune, they have like this the kid come in singing The Call Up, which was just funny. And he's just like, that's it, no, I don't want to do anymore. And they also had a piano plunked version of Career Opportunities sung by a chorus of kids. And they even changed a couple lyrics to reflect school as opposed to work in there. And I don't even know whose kids they were. I don't think they were theirs. I don't know if they had any kids, or they were, you know, so it was just funny. But that works. When you listen to it now and that comes across, you're like into it. So I've got my version of Career Opportunities I'm going to do. But I would just highly recommend the Clash's Sandinista. Any Clash album, really. But Sandinista is a fun listen, and I've been living with that thing for like 40 years now. And I've listened to it a lot. It's up there on the top. So here's my career opportunities. They offered me the office, offered me the shop. He said I better take anything they got. Do you wanna make tea at the BBC? Do you really wanna be a cop? Career opportunities, the one that never die. Every job they offer used to keep you off the dime. Career opportunities, the one that never die. I hate the army, I hate the army. I don't wanna go fighting in the tropical heat. I hate civil service rules. I don't wanna open no letter bombs for you. Career opportunities, the one that never die. Every job they offer used to keep you off the dime. Career opportunities, the one that never die. Oi! Bus driver, ambulance man, ticket inspector. I don't understand. They're gonna have to introduce conscription. They're gonna have to take away my prescription. Well, if they wanna get me making toys, well, if they wanna get me, well, I've got no choice. Career opportunities, the one that never knock. Every job they offer used to keep you off the dock. Career opportunities, the one that never knock. Career, well, they're never gonna knock. It's enjoyable. The Clash, Sandinista. Good stuff.